So I've covered the MK Mini 3, and I've also covered the old launch key, and I'll throw some links down in the description up in the cards for you guys on that. But there's a few things that's new about this. Looks like they kept pretty much like the same software situation from it, just from what I remember. But they've added some new functionality into it, and their whole kind of new aesthetic that they added with the minis. Looks like they kind of blew up what they had in the mini. That's my best guess. We'll see once I get it out the box. But we're gonna see what it gets. Let's get it out. Let's see what we're talking about. So feels really, really good in terms of playing it. It's a different feel on the keyboard. I definitely say that. It doesn't feel like any keyboard that I felt on a keyboard up to this point. It's definitely a different feel. But the cool part about it is that there's so much functionality and control you get inside of Ableton, from being able to go up and down your scenes, you know what I mean, from being able to change your tracks. And then it gives you feedback here on the screen and tells you what kit you're using, what track you're on, what sounds you have, which is really, really cool. I think, just in my opinion, that it shows you that on the screen. So you could legit kind of really focus on the keyboard and not have to look at your computer screen. A lot of controllers don't really do that well. I think this implements it in a way that's really kind of elegant, you know, in what you do. So you can control all of those aspects, your devices. You can hold shift and access your pan or your device or your scenes, and you can control those. So it gives you a lot of those controls right up out the gate. Your volumes, device, and you got, again, the same thing here, device, send. You have just multiple ways to access different things on the fly. Art mode. So if I turn it on. So then there's scale mode, which is really, really cool. I talked about it briefly in my Launch Key Mini video where we talked about that. But basically what it does is it locks you into a scale on the notes. So when you're playing on the keys, it kind of keeps you in that scale. For those who might not be that musical, you know what I mean? You might not be a super piano player or whatever. That's cool. You got scale mode and you got ARP and you got things that you can use to help you make music. And that's what this is about. So to activate it is real cool. You just hit the button, but I can actually change it by hitting the scale and then touching a note. So it's set default by like C minor or whatever. So I can change it to like a major or minor just by hitting the pad. So if I want to change it to like F major, for instance, or G major, just whatever note that I'm hitting on the piano, it's gonna lock me into that scale. So now when I come out of that mode, no matter what note I play, even if I'm playing black notes, it keeps me in the key of F. Kind of funky, kind of weird for a guy like me that, you know, when you know music is kind of funky. But for those who aren't musically inclined, this is cool. You can literally just, you know, just play around on the keyboard randomly, and it's gonna make sense melodically if you come up with something that you like. So that's pretty cool. Then there's fixed chord mode that allows you to kind of stay at a fixed chord. So now the chords become mapped to keys, you know what I mean? So, you know, just playing one note and you get a chord. So of course you can launch clips and things like that from the pads, just like you would, you know, on a pad controller or inside of Ableton, and they correspond. Like the pad is blinking here, it's also blinking inside of Ableton, and I can bank up and down, so on and so forth. It's your perfect control situation for Ableton. That's what it's meant for. That's what it's used for. I think it's really, really cool. If you're an Ableton user, and I know it has some functions in Logic, we'll explore that in a later video, but just out the box, if you're an Ableton user, this is probably one of the best boards you can buy that'll give you the functionality of a pad controller and a keyboard and a control surface all in one. I think it's probably the best bang for buck when it comes to that, and it's a definite improvement from the MK2. The only thing I would say is about it, if I had to give a con, is I don't care as much for the keyboard. I like the keypad on the previous version versus this. If I had to compare the two, this has, the other one has a better keypad. The old version has a better keypad to me. These keys feel a little bit hollow. They feel good. They're decent. They have decent response. But if I had a choice, I think I would go with the MK2 model keys or a different keypad. But this is a great keyboard outside of all of those things. So that's all I wanted to show you guys today. That's all I wanted to talk about. Hope this video helped you. You know how we do on these videos. Hit the like button, the share button, drop a comment, turn on notifications, and hit that little bell thingy, you know what I mean? So you'll know when I drop a new video. And I'll talk to you guys on the next one. I'm out. Holla at your boy.